Just when you thought our election system couldn't get any worse, I just ran into some new information that I haven't heard before that is going to make your jaw hit the floor. So are we doomed to become the next socialist, communist country like China? Or are we going to get some justice? Let's examine it. How's everybody doing today? My name is Ty with Right IQ. Thank you for coming here today and spending a little bit of time with me. I wanted to go ahead and start off first by introducing you guys to my Twitter account. It's a brand new account. As you can tell here, I have one follower, one guy following me right now. So if you guys are interested, you like what I have to say, you want to keep up with my comments and everything like that, go ahead and come over here to Twitter and give me a follow. I'm also on Truth, and I'm on Getter also, but I can only learn one platform at a time. Once I learn one, I'm sure they're all going to follow right behind. But for right now, I'm just on Twitter. That's where I'm the most active. What I mean active over the last couple of days. So with that being said, let's get into a little bit of this information I had ran into today. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you. This is from the thread of I meme, therefore I am. And I've been looking at quite a bit of his stuff today, and he's got some really good information. Either he's coming up with himself, or he is, or he's either he's coming up with it himself, or he knows where to get some good information. So it's a pretty good thread. So if you are interested, go ahead and give him a follow. But with that being said, let me get into this. New York citizens audit organizations found through research that in 2020 general elections, New York State had 330,000 more votes than voters. Also, NYCA found 1.1 million unique individuals whose identities were cloned to create 2.4 million registrations, a major scale identity theft. Wow, that's huge right there. That's identity theft. If they got the information on that, they got the goods on this, man, that's huge. Let's go ahead and listen to what she's got to say here. Let me pull up the video for you. Turn off my mic.
So the interesting thing about our research into 2020 specifically is that because it's really into the voter roll database, it applies throughout multiple elections. So first off, the 2020 general election in New York State was falsely certified, actually. The election checkbook does not balance with the election bank statement. The law recognizes that election integrity means the number of voters, among other things, it means that the number of voters has to match the number of votes. Yet in the New York State 2020 general election, there were 338,000 more votes than voters. We also have in New York, we have 1.1 million unique individuals whose identities have been cloned to create 2.4 million registrations, each one with the ability to cast a unique vote. Okay, this is not election fraud now. This is criminal identity theft on a massive scale. It's like unimaginable.
Yeah, and I know that's just a quick summary of what your group found. Marley, 19 million people here in New York State, yet 21 million on the voter rolls. Where has your group brought these findings?
Yes, well, in May of this year, May 9th of 2022, we brought our summaries, the information that we had so far at that time, we brought to the State Board of Elections, the 4 commissioners of the State Board Elections, and the 2 co-executive directors. We brought it to the Attorney General, Letitia James. We brought it to the Secretary of State, who actually took the box of information we sent, taped it shut again, and returned it to us. And we also provided this information to the heads of the two major political parties, the Democrat and Republican Party in New York State. And we have received absolutely no response from any of them. We met with
There you go. You have identity fraud on a massive scale, I believe she said. But listen to the people that she gave that over to. Letitia James, I think her name is, the Attorney General over there. What is she going to do? She's not going to do anything. She's trying to get Trump. She's not trying to help him out. She's not trying to help out any Republicans. She would just rather let him rot. Um, and am I surprised that the Republican Party hasn't responded back? I'm not surprised about the Democrats, and I'm really not surprised about the Republicans either, because they're kind of the same party. They just really don't want to relive it. With that being said, what do you guys think about that? A little bit mind blowing there. And there's another video here. Let me go ahead and bring this up. It says New York citizens submit New York citizens audit submitted their findings to the State Board of Elections, AG to Letitia James, New York Secretary of State, who returned them. Obviously, she wasn't interested in those at all. Or he, I don't know if this is a guy or girl. And the heads of the Republican and the Democratic Party without getting any response since May of 2022. May of 2022. Nobody has done a damn thing to try to get to the bottom of it because they don't want to. They're all in on it. The Republicans benefit from this just as much as the Democrats do. So let's go ahead and listen to this video right here.
We met with the State Police Special Investigations Unit in June. We met with them for over 4 hours. They were not expecting that. They were expecting a 20-minute, you're crazy, get out of my office kind of a meeting.
Right.
We met with them for 4 hours. And by the time we were done, their words, not mine, they said, this is treason. And they handed that investigation over to who they felt had jurisdiction, which was the FBI.
The FBI. Well, if they lie about a laptop, they will lie about voter fraud. So we'll see what happens there. But we're not going to mention names. I do know there are at least 2 DAs that have been behind this, supporting you guys.
Yes, there are 2 DAs and a number of sheriffs who have taken steps to further their understanding. But I do want to say something, and I want to share this with the people of New York in particular, but of course, everyone across America. I want people to know that the New York GOP is in possession of the evidence that I'm speaking about with you here today, and the evidence that we show the state police. They're in possession of this evidence, and they are actually attempting a secret deliberation about whether or not they want to use this evidence to file a challenge to the certification of the 2022 midterm.
So New Yorkers right now who want to get involved, they can be calling the New York GOP office in Albany, telling them you must file this lawsuit, because we're already talking about 2024 here, but people clearly still have questions about 2020. Marley, we will be following this case. Thank you so much for all the hard work.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. We met with this.
Crazy. When I first read this off of off of Twitter, the I meme, therefore I am, I was baffled. I thought I knew everything. I didn't think I could be surprised anymore. As a matter of fact, when I responded to him, let me see if I can find my I put I wonder where else this cloning is happening within the United States. California, Pennsylvania, maybe Arizona. I'm sure that it's widespread. And look, I believe that. I believe that, like, I don't believe that the Democrats would ever be elected anywhere within the United States if it wasn't for cheating. And I think a lot of these rhinos the same thing. And the sooner that we get this figured out and get our elections fixed, the sooner we can get on the right track. Because I don't think anything that's happened, forget about since 2020. I'm thinking these elections have been messed with, for 50 years, maybe longer. Who knows? they've spent generations perfecting this stealing, and because they have, you've all heard of the boiling frog, and that's what's been happening over, the last 50, 75 years, whatever. The boiling frog, you put a frog in cold water and turn it up slowly, and they're not going to try to escape. And so I think that's what they've been doing. They've been slowly having to push us in the direction that they want us to be in. But the problem is Donald Trump messed everything up for them. They had to put everything on hyperdrive because he's exposing everything. And so now when Biden comes in, they've got to turn up the heat. They got to turn it up fast, and we all see it. We feel it. We're trying to get out of this boiling water. And so they're exposed right now. And because they're exposed, they're doing things that they normally wouldn't do. And then you have Elon coming into the mix. Thank you, Elon. You have Elon coming into the mix, and he is ruffling some feathers too. Like you can't tell me that I don't know if Donald Trump and him are, basically hidden friends behind the scenes, but they're both going in the same direction, and I like the direction they're going, so that's great. Do I believe that there's hope for our elections? I'm never going to give up hope. As long as Americans will still fight, there's still hope. And I guess that leads me to my next statement is that, we've got to start fighting. And I don't mean go out there with, do anything stupid. What I'm talking about is we need to stand up and be heard. And if you look at January 6th, I think that had bigger implications than just, trying to keep Donald Trump from being elected. I believe that was one of them, and that's continuing as we speak. But how many protests have you seen coming from the conservative side since the January 6th? I believe everybody's afraid that they're going to be the next victims of a January 6th style, arrest where they're put in, solitary confinement for months at a time without being charged with anything, and then calling us, terrorists at the same time, using the Patriot Act in a way that it was never meant to be used in the first place. Well, maybe it was meant to be used for that purpose, but that wasn't the understanding. But of course, looking at things, hindsight's 2020, and now that you look back on it, that the Patriot Act was far from patriotic. It was put in place to serve a purpose, and that purpose was to keep us in our place. And January 6th was their opportunity to not only keep Trump out of the White House for his second term, but also handicap us to where we're too afraid to go out there and protest. And I think that's worked, but I think that there's hope. I believe that with time and with people start standing up again and start feeling bold, and I think that what that means is that we're going to have to get to the precipice. The precipice, I believe that a lot of us are there now. I am, I've mentioned this before, but a lot of people still have to wake up, and not everybody's going to wake up. But once you wake up, you've got to get loud. That's why I joined Twitter. That's why I'm starting up the YouTube channel and the Rumble channel, and starting to get active, because Twitter has been cleansed, so to speak. The big thumb of big government isn't there anymore, so they can't purge us from Twitter. They can't purge us from truth. I am on YouTube, and I can be purged from there. That is possible. I have a hard time believing that I'm going to be purged from Rumble, though. So our voice is getting louder. We just have to speak. And so that's what I'm doing right now. So I believe that there is hope, but we have to get this information to the right places. I don't think that giving it to the AG is the right place to go. I kind of knew how that was going to play out. I knew that handing it to the Democrats and the FBI, how's that going to play out? If we believe that they were a part of January 6th, of the planned insurrection, then, what makes you think that they're going to do anything if they can't even expose what's obvious, speaking of Biden Jr.'s laptop. If we can't get that out, then what makes you think that the FBI is going to be any help to us at all? So we're going to have to get loud, but we got to give this information to the right people. Here's what I don't understand. Maybe you guys can help me out with this. I know that the Democrats, they do judge shopping all the time. So if they believe that their case is going to be heard and get a better result in a different area of the same territory, they're going to take that court case over there to get that taken care of. Or what about this? When Donald Trump was in office, how many judges stepped up without a lawsuit and decided to halt his orders because they were unconstitutional? Why do we not have conservative judges doing the same thing and saying, hey, look, shut down these borders? This is fraud. Let's get rid of this fraud in these elections. You weren't allowed to do what you did. Why don't we do that? Why aren't they going out there and stepping up like the aggressive activist judges on the liberal side? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So you have Democrats on one side that fight. They're always on the same page. They're always, talking about the same talking points. And then you have the Republicans that just wait for things to happen and then react to them without being aggressive at all. I like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm not really sure, what she's doing here with the Speaker of the House thing. I don't like McCarthy. I think that he is, just another Paul Ryan. I don't know what's going on with that. She kind of threw me for a loop on that one. But, look at Matt Gaetz. Some people like him, some people don't. He's a fire breather. I like somebody that's going to go in there and make a scene because that's what we need. We need people to get loud. I'm not going to get offended because they are talking about things that are important to me. I don't care how they say them. He can speak how he wants to speak. I'll speak how I want to speak. But we need to have those fighters in there. And I think we're getting there, but the Republicans that we have on our side, a lot of them are very weak and don't know how to fight. And there's the problem, is that we want to, go along to get along. We want to reach across the aisle. I'm tired of reaching across the aisle. Why would we reach across the aisle? When has that benefited us in the last 20 years? It's not going to benefit us now. But let me go ahead and move on to this next story. This next story here is a little bit more of a happy story. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but Maricopa judge, I have no confidence at all in this election that this election was run fairly. The election judge stated the massive lines were real. We had close to 200 people in line at one point, and it was a 2-hour wait, and we had people walking off the line because they just couldn't wait anymore. And I can understand that, waiting for 2 hours, especially if you have like disabilities or something like that. Like I can see that. Elderly people, they just can't stand that long. They can't be out there in the elements that long. They go on to say this was the result whereby other voting centers were seemingly sending their voters to this one election center despite not having the proper checkout procedures. So they didn't check them out properly. It says, in particular, many election day voters were sent away from their primary election center to vote in another election center without being told they needed to check out of the first one in order for their vote to count. Now, I'm not going to assume that they were doing this on purpose. It just seems kind of fishy. I hear people saying, it's not the fault of the people that were running the elections in the election centers. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I have a hard time believing that not all of them are activists. After looking at the video of 2020, it seems to me like a lot of those people are activists, and so it leads me to believe that they had this planned. You give me your opinion. Let me know what you think about that. I believe that all this could have been done a lot better. And maybe if Katie Hobbs was not running her own election and you didn't have those other characters there that started the super PAC, to keep her out of the governorship. So they go on to say, you need an actual certified paper. You could use a photograph of it. So technically, I could take out my auto registration and my auto insurance card and Photoshop take pictures of them both and walk into the vote as anyone I want. This is why the election judge ultimately claimed, I have no confidence at all that this election was run fairly. Rules exist for a reason, folks, and if there's a reason, I say that we must follow the law. I couldn't have said it better myself. We need a lot more judges like this. I'm not looking for judges that want to, the activist judges on our side. I want them to go by the law. If we want the law changed, we should vote that out. And judges should rule based on the law and the law alone. We could complain about the law, but are they following it? That's what's important to me. So I wanted to go ahead and end this video on a good note and ask you guys a question. Did you guys see this announcement from Donald Trump? He's announcing that he's going to make an announcement tomorrow. You guys remember what happened on the 15th of last month where he announced his presidency. Let's see what this video is. It says, America needs a superhero. I will be making a major announcement tomorrow. Thank you, Donald Trump. Let's take a look at this.
America needs a superhero.
Damn, he's yoked. But he's right. We need a superhero. I wonder what he is going to announce tomorrow. I've heard people talk about maybe he's going to announce as vice president. Is it possible that it's going to be like a nothing burger and he's just trolling the deep state to find out what they're going to do? Who knows? I don't know. We will find out tomorrow. I don't know what time it is that he's going to be making this announcement, but good stuff. I like it. But anyways, that's enough for me tonight. You guys take it easy. Thanks for watching and have a good night. We'll see you next time. Peace. Thank you for watching this video. Ride IQ is a new channel, so please like, subscribe, and share this video with all of your friends because we have to support each other if we're going to win this battle. And if you agree or disagree, please leave your comments below so that we can have that discussion together. And I'll see you on the next video.